In the heart of Tokyo, the Bank of Japan, known as the BOJ, quietly shapes the nation's financial destiny, acting as a silent guardian over the world's third-largest economy. Its influence stretches far beyond the walls of its historic building, touching the lives of every citizen and business in Japan. As Japan's central bank, the BOJ's mission is to keep prices stable and the financial system healthy. It works tirelessly behind the scenes, monitoring economic signals and making decisions that affect everything from the cost of groceries to the value of the yen. For years, the BOJ fought a stubborn enemy, deflation, by keeping interest rates near zero, hoping to encourage people and businesses to spend rather than save. This era of ultra-low rates was meant to breathe life into a sluggish economy and spark growth. But now, the tables have turned. Inflation has returned, prices are rising across the country, and the yen is weakening against other major currencies. Everyday life is getting more expensive, and uncertainty is growing. The BOJ faces a new and complex challenge: how to cool inflation without derailing Japan's fragile economic recovery. Every move is watched closely by markets, businesses, and families alike. Raising interest rates is the main tool at the BOJ's disposal, but it's a risky balancing act. Higher rates can slow inflation, but they can also make borrowing more expensive and threaten growth. Move too fast, and growth could stall, putting jobs and businesses at risk. Move too slow, and inflation will continue to erode people's savings, making it harder for families to make ends meet. The BOJ's decisions in 2026 will ripple through every household and business, shaping the financial future of millions. From the smallest family-run shop to the largest corporation, everyone will feel the effects. From savings accounts to ramen prices, from the cost of a daily commute to the dreams of new entrepreneurs, the impact will be felt everywhere, in ways both big and small. As Japan enters this pivotal year, the BOJ stands at the center of a new economic storm. Its choices will help determine whether the nation weathers the turbulence or finds a new path to stability and growth. For decades, Japan barely knew inflation. Prices hardly moved, and the cost of everyday goods often stayed the same year after year. In fact, prices sometimes even fell, making Japan famous for its long period of deflation. This deflation discouraged people from spending, as they expected things to get cheaper. To break the cycle, the Bank of Japan set a modest 2% inflation target, hoping to encourage growth and spending. But now, after years of struggling to reach that goal, inflation is suddenly surging past it, catching many by surprise. The cost of living is rising much faster than most households expected, putting pressure on family budgets and making it harder for many to make ends meet. One big reason is the rising cost of imported goods. Energy, food, and fuel have all become more expensive, especially as the yen has weakened against other major currencies. Japan relies heavily on imports, so when the yen falls, it takes more yen to buy the same products, leading to higher prices at the checkout for everyone. This imported inflation has become a top concern for the Bank of Japan, as it tries to balance economic growth with price stability. But there's another crucial factor: wages. For years, salaries in Japan barely budged, making it tough for workers to keep up with rising costs. Now, for the first time in decades, there are signs that wages are starting to rise, giving some hope that workers might finally get ahead. If paychecks keep growing, people could spend more, which might push prices even higher and create a new cycle of inflation. The Bank of Japan now faces a tough decision. Are wage gains strong and widespread enough to justify raising interest rates and cooling inflation? If not, there's a real risk that inflation could outpace incomes, leaving many consumers worse off and deepening economic challenges. The bank's next moves will be crucial, as it weighs these shifting forces and tries to guide Japan through this new era of rising prices. The yen's sharp decline is front-page news. A weak yen helps exporters like Toyota, boosting profits when they convert foreign sales back to yen. But it's a double-edged sword. Imports, energy, food, essentials, become more expensive. Households and small businesses feel the pain at the pump and grocery store. The weak yen is now fueling the very inflation the BOJ wants to control. Public frustration is mounting, and pressure is on the BOJ to act. Raising rates could strengthen the yen, but risks slowing the economy. The currency's fall is no longer just a market story, it's a kitchen table issue. The BOJ must weigh the costs and benefits of every move. Politics and economics are colliding in Japan. Prime Minister Takaichi has called a snap election, promising tax cuts and looser fiscal policy. More money in people's pockets could boost spending, but also stoke inflation. The BOJ faces a dilemma. Government stimulus may force it to raise rates faster. If fiscal and monetary policy pull in opposite directions, managing inflation gets harder. The election adds uncertainty, with all sides promising relief from rising prices. The BOJ must stay independent, but can't ignore the political storm. Its next steps will be shaped by both economic data and political realities. For years, the BOJ's ultra-loose policy defined Japan: zero or even negative rates, massive bond buying, and endless stimulus. That era ended in 2024, when the BOJ began unwinding its emergency measures. In December 2025, it raised its policy rate to 0.75%, a 30-year high. For many, this is uncharted territory. The message is clear: the fight against deflation is over, and inflation is the new enemy. Yet, by global standards, Japan's rates remain low. The BOJ is cautious, watching for solid wage growth before moving faster. But with inflation stubborn and political pressure rising, more hikes seem inevitable. The groundwork is laid. The world is watching for the next move. The era of free money is ending. All eyes are on the BOJ's upcoming policy meeting. Most expect rates to hold steady for now, with an election looming. The real focus is on signals. Will the BOJ hint at more hikes? Updated forecasts may show higher inflation and growth, setting the stage for action. April is a likely window for the next rate hike, after wage talks and the election. Economists predict rates could reach 1% or higher by autumn. The BOJ is preparing for a steady cycle of increases to tame inflation and support the yen. The era of waiting is over. Action is coming. BOJ rate hikes hit home fast. Mortgages, car loans, and credit cards will all get more expensive. Young families may find it harder to buy homes. Small businesses will face higher borrowing costs. That's the point. Pricier loans, slow spending, and cool inflation. But savers finally get a break. Bank deposits will start earning real interest again. Higher rates encourage saving, which also helps curb demand. The trade-off: short-term pain from higher payments, but protection against runaway inflation. If prices rise faster than wages, everyone loses. The BOJ's goal is to stabilize the yen and preserve your purchasing power. It's a tough balance, but crucial for Japan's future. Every household will feel the effects. Financial markets are reacting fast to the BOJ's shift. Bond yields have surged to multi-decade highs, raising borrowing costs across the economy. The yen has tumbled, driven by low rates and global investors seeking better returns elsewhere. The BOJ's rate hikes aim to reverse this, making the yen more attractive. But markets are volatile. If the BOJ moves slower than expected, the yen could fall further. Traders are betting on every word from the BOJ, and uncertainty is high. The bond and currency markets are now battlegrounds for expectations. Their moves will reveal if the BOJ's strategy is working. 2026 is shaping up to be a pivotal year for Japan's economy, a moment when decades of policy decisions come to a head. The country stands at a crossroads, facing both new opportunities and significant risks as it navigates a rapidly changing global landscape. The Bank of Japan is making a historic shift, moving away from years of aggressive stimulus and ultra-low interest rates. Now, with inflation rising and rates at a 30-year high, the central bank is focused on reining in price increases while trying to avoid stalling the fragile recovery. Meanwhile, political uncertainty and ambitious government spending plans are adding layers of complexity. Lawmakers are debating how best to support growth without fueling further inflation, and every decision is under intense scrutiny. The timing of the next rate hike is critical. Move too soon and growth could falter. Wait too long and inflation may spiral out of control. Economists and investors are watching every signal, trying to predict the BOJ's next move. For ordinary people, these changes are deeply personal. The end of cheap loans means higher borrowing costs for homes and businesses, while the return of savings interest offers some relief for savers. Every household will feel the impact in their daily lives. The BOJ's challenge is to stabilize the yen, keep living costs in check, and protect the wage gains workers have fought for. Currency swings and rising prices are top concerns for families and businesses alike. It's a painful but necessary adjustment, one that will test the resilience of both the economy and society. The transition may be tough, but it's essential for Japan's long-term health and stability. All eyes are now on Governor Ueda and the BOJ board as they weigh each decision. Their leadership will be crucial in guiding Japan through this uncertain period. The outcome of wage negotiations, government policy shifts, and the latest inflation data will all play a role in shaping the year ahead. Every development is being closely monitored by markets and the public. The Bank of Japan's delicate balancing act in 2026 will not only determine the country's economic direction for years to come, but also set an example for other nations facing similar challenges.